Would you say, kind of off the top of your head, would you say that that's more common than not? That just that whole thing where, just to blame people in general.
Oh, absolutely.
For a leader too.
Absolutely. I mean, it is absolutely a very common problem in leadership.
Yeah.
That's why our book is done really well, because people say, oh man,
yeah,
I do that. Oh, I can't believe I do that.
Yeah, because we never hear any of this stuff. Like growing up, you'll say, okay, don't blame, but it's not like a real strong message that you're sent growing up. I know I wasn't.
I don't think that people have isolated and focused on ownership at this level. I think that's why the book is done very well.
Yeah.
I think that's why people continue to contact me and say, hey, you guys, thank you for writing this book. It's changed the way I look at everything. It's changed the way I've done my business. It's changed the way I'm treating my wife.
Yeah,
it's changed my family. It's changed my outlook on my physical failings.
Mm-hmm.
So when you take ownership to that high level and that intensity, and you call it extreme ownership, yeah, I think it has a huge impact. And I think that we are the first people that have said, you know what, this needs to be the focus.
Right.
This is the game changer. This is the fundamental principle in life that is going to turn you from failure to success. It's not when you say, hey, this person didn't help me and this person went against me and this person sabotaged me. That's great, but it doesn't matter. When you take ownership of everything, if somebody's sabotaging me, I got to own it. I got to figure out how to stop them.
Yeah, and it's just so when you kind of know that, or you kind of get wind of that, it almost seems so obvious. Like, yeah, well, what was I thinking? If I'm going to blame someone, of course they're going to blame me back. If I get belligerent towards someone, of course they're going to get belligerent back. But you already knew that, really, if you're asked. But it's almost like you don't think, if I take ownership, everyone else is going to start taking ownership. You don't really think about that much, even though after you know it, it seems real obvious.
These things are simple, but not easy.
But not easy, yeah.
They really are. And ownership, when you take ownership of problems, when you take ownership of your life, and when you don't have anybody else to blame, it hurts.
Yeah. Yeah.
It hurts. It hurts the ego. It hurts the mind. It hurts. So people, even though it's really easy, you're going to take ownership of everything. It's hard to do. Mm-hmm. It's difficult for people to do. And when they do it, when they do step across that line and they do take ownership, they absolutely see things turn around. Mm-hmm. And I've heard that, thankfully for the internet, thankfully for Twitter and Facebook and all these things, people hit me up every single day and say either, hey, this changed my life, but sometimes it's just something minor. They'll say, had some issues at work today, took ownership of them, problem solved. And you're like, okay, that's great. Yeah. What would that person have done a month ago before they read the book? They would have blamed somebody else. They would have shifted the problem. They would have ignored it. They would have cast blame somewhere else, and they wouldn't have solved the problem. Mm-hmm. So when you take ownership, it allows you to then solve the problem. So that's what you got to do.